Hello, dear folks. Welcome back to the show. Jack Xiao on the East-West Show. Today, touching the hardcore subject of death penalty, which means should we not abolish it, or does it not keep our system better, or does it drag our economy down, according to my friend Justin, or does it bring justice, or just tit for tat, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, something like that? Okay. Anyway. With me today are two wonderful attorneys of Southern California. Scott Warman, I know for 25 years, with the huge credentials piled up like mountains.
Oh,
right?
Thank you.
Come on. Okay. You're going to buy me a lunch for that.
I'm
kidding. All right. And Mr. Rodriguez, he's the defense attorney of criminal laws. Both of them are handling my crying baby, which is the pain of should we not abolish death penalty. We have asked $1 million questions already. Here's the next one. Probably there's another million. I don't know. You give it the judgment. Now, in a society which runs a system, a legal system, or judicial system, or justice system that has no confidence or not enough confidence in itself, it has to drag in the death penalty by quote unquote using the laws, applying the Constitution to kill somebody to keep it running. Does it mean something to you? Or on the other hand, you have a system which is so confident that I don't have to kill to make a point. Mm-hmm. So, do I make a point by these two comparisons?
I think that's an excellent point. The question is whether we should lower our morals and our standards and essentially match the person who did the heinous act. Mm-hmm. Are we really any different if we're instituting lethal injection or a gas chamber on someone for a heinous act that they committed? The question is whether or not we're really deterring that kind of act from happening again. Mm-hmm. Again, all the statistics show that money that could be allocated towards actual crime control, things like putting cops on the street, things like just getting cops the equipment they need to prevent future crime from body cameras. A lot of the things that could actually prevent future crimes from happening are getting wasted on this broken system to keep these people on death row that cost millions and multi-millions of dollars. Jerry Brown had to order another multi-million-dollar order through in order to keep inmates housed and fed during this death row system. So I think it's a really important concern to address.
I see. All right, good.
I'm with Justin on that.
Yeah, you're with him, yeah.
The point is, I like to think of prevention rather than reaction. Mm-hmm. And something like education, you know, or crime prevention.
Yeah, all right.
Where should our money be going? So does the death penalty make sense? Doesn't seem to make economic sense.
That exactly reminds me. The other day I had a little conversation with the interns of the office. Her name is Yi-Wan. I said, how about prevention like a doctor, right? Mm-hmm. So you can cure people, you can save people from a surgical room, whatever.
Right.
But if there is a prevention to talk about, though,
that's right.
We'd rather talk about prevention rather than having to go to doing that.
Yeah. Hey, I like education, you know, and that all comes under the...
That's a big point you want to develop. Please, I need that.
I mean, this is what, to me, you know, as an individual, I've seen what difference education makes in a person's life, right? Yeah. Exposure to ideas. And then what do we need to do to stop some of the problems we have in this society? Well, I just believe strongly education is what we need. Now, education includes things like crime prevention techniques. In other words, any way that we can, you know, just knowledge to people, more knowledge to people.
Okay. Along those lines, for instance, in my community in Los Angeles, they instituted something called SNL for Saturday Night Lights. It's a program that they have at a lot of parks, local parks, in order to, they keep the lights on all night. They have provide food, movies. They have people to monitor sports for the kids while they're out on summer. Statistics, a positive move, a concrete move, a grassroots move that actually gets into the community. You keep these kids off the streets, keep them out of gangs, keep them out of getting into trouble, providing them an outlet where there's a proper amount of support and nurturing and leadership. And I would much rather see money allocated towards programs like that than for one single person and allocate millions of dollars to keep them alive.
Simply because of the fact that every coin has two sides, right?
Right.
And then you're looking at one side without seeing the other side, though. You're seeing 50% of the problem. Okay, to you both gentlemen, please excuse me, I hate Pearl Harbor attack. But then by that I mean that I hate to mention anything that I haven't exchanged with you prior to the show while doing homework. So may I attack you a little bit?
Please.
Okay.
I'm a defense attorney. I'm built.
Justin's my attorney.
Okay. Or I attack him.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
Either way, I'll attack you too.
Sure, yeah.
Now, I need your judgment. I need your judgment about the Kelly Thomas case, Michael Brown's case, and Freddie Gray case. So either of you?
Well, I think when it comes to just police brutality and police conduct, I have so much respect for police. First of all, let me just say that what they do day in and day out is absolutely, I can't imagine having that kind of a day and the challenges they have to bear. Okay, but all across the board, we're seeing that there's this misconduct or excessive force that's being used, and it's creating a huge divide in our country. I think the idea of to protect and serve means coming at particular people with more respect, more with an idea of community, and a little more fairness, so that we're not going over that line of stereotyping, of being unfair, of being cruel, and treating people like animals, essentially. And so I think there's just so much to be said for having the proper training so that police officers can better handle a volatile situation. There needs to be more training with regards to dealing with the mentally ill. And those cases you mentioned, I think that's...
They killed them with the 6 cops, right?
Right, absolutely. And I think...
cops called the community-oriented policing, whatever.
Yeah.
So your comments, Scott, please?
Yeah, well, I have to say it's pretty similar to what Justin said. I mean, training, how do you deal with mentally ill? Kelly Thomas, you know, a classic situation, you know? I mean, he had a mental problem. And
that was known to everybody for the past 25 years.
Exactly. So why do you need to take that kind of action, you know? So, you know, I think one of the other problems we find is that there is, you know, this code of silence in the police department that makes it very difficult to, you know, get at the truth.
Sure.
And even when laws are passed for more transparency, you know, they're fought or ignored, or you know.
Yeah, otherwise they would not be forming their own gangs.
Yeah.
You heard about LASD? Well,
right.
They have their own gang, their own mottos, their own tattoo, their own gestures, whatever, their own flags, their own motorbikes, whatever. They forming gangs, so we call it code of silence.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, you know, and I think I want to pick up on one thing that Justin mentioned. Police have a very difficult job, and think about it.
Oh yeah.
If you're in trouble, who are you going to call? You want the help of the police.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
You know, so on the one hand, we need them, we want them, but I think what we're saying is there should be maybe a little more training, and
especially if there is domestic dispute.
Absolutely.
Right. Domestic violence, call them. They will be there within 5 minutes.
Exactly.
And other than that, I don't know.
One of the aspects of policing that hasn't been incorporated enough is, for example, in the older days, you would have the one cop who had a beat around the whole community, and he would walk around, and the kids knew him, the neighbors knew him. He was from that neighborhood.
America.
I think that goes a long way in terms of establishing those relationships, establishing that respect, and you're not having cops come from, you know, far out areas that are looking at these people like strangers. I mean, we're all Americans, and that's what it comes down to.
He mentioned a big word that used with the money that we could have saved with the exercising death penalty, though, we can reallocate to places like what you guys mentioned, right? So, well, obviously we're running over time. I hate doing that, but still we did. So, my dear audiences, thank you for watching the show. I believe this is not the first time. This will be starting of many more. I want you to agree with me on that issue, that we will come back on this kind of discussion, right?
Agreed.
So my appreciation goes to Mr. Scott Womath, a friend who I know for 25 years, an excellent attorney with a huge mountain-like of credentials in Southern California, and his partner, Mr. Justin Rodriguez. To both of you, thank you very so much for coming here, shed your lights.
Yeah, thank you, Jack. Thank you. It was an honor.
And we'll see you.